Welcome to Storied Audio. Amelia adjusted the strap of her black dress and glanced at her watch. She was early, 15 minutes early. The restaurant glowed softly, candles flickering on every table, the kind of warm light that made strangers look like old friends. Claire had insisted this blind date would be a delightful surprise, and after months of awkward coffee meetups and half-hearted swiping, Amelia finally gave in. She chose a table by the window, where the city lights spilled in like a quiet promise. A waiter brought her sparkling water, and she sipped it slowly, trying not to rehearse small talk in her head. Blind dates always felt like auditions, forced smiles, polite laughter, and that inevitable moment when both people realized they were just being kind. She was about to check her phone when the door opened. Her heart stopped.
Gavin.
He walked in like a memory she'd spent 4 years trying not to reopen. Same tousled hair. Same crooked smile. He looked more grounded now, less like the man who used to live halfway out the door chasing deadlines and promotions. He scanned the room, searching for someone. Not her. Not yet. Amelia's breath caught. They hadn't seen each other since the breakup, the one she'd initiated because long distance felt like slow heartbreak. They'd been in love, the kind that made you believe in forever. And she'd ended it before it could unravel. Then Gavin spotted her. Their eyes locked. He blinked, stunned, then smiled cautiously, like he wasn't sure if she was real. She stood up slowly. "Gavin," she said, her voice trembling. "Amelia," he replied, walking toward her. "I didn't expect this." "I didn't either," she said. "I'm supposed to be meeting someone. A blind date." He laughed softly. "Me too." They stared at each other as the realization hit. "No way," she whispered. "Your friend wouldn't happen to be named Claire, would she?" He nodded, laughing. "Claire is my cousin." Amelia sat down, dazed. Gavin joined her. "I moved back last month," he said. "New job. Less travel. More roots." She swallowed hard. "I'm sorry, Gavin. For ending things. I thought I was protecting us from the inevitable." "I was angry," he said. "Still am a little. You didn't even let me try." "I know," she whispered, "but I never stopped loving you." He looked at her for a long moment. "I never stopped loving you either." The waiter returned, oblivious to the emotional earthquake at the table. They ordered wine, and silence settled between them like a third guest. "I used to imagine running into you," Amelia said quietly. "But it was always in a coffee shop or a bookstore. Never like this." "I imagined it too," Gavin said. "Usually in an airport. You'd be rushing to catch a flight, and I'd stop you." She laughed. "That sounds like you." He leaned forward. "Why did you really end it, Amelia?" She hesitated. "Because I was scared. You were so excited about the job, and I didn't want to be the reason you stayed. I thought if I let you go, you'd chase your dreams and maybe forget me." "I never did," he said. "I tried. Dated a little. Worked too much. But every time I came back to visit, I hoped I'd bump into you." She blinked back tears. "I didn't think long distance could work. I didn't trust it." "I would have made it work," he said. "I would have flown back every weekend if I had to." "I know," she whispered. "I just didn't believe in us enough." Gavin looked down at his wine. "I was angry for a long time. Not just at you, at myself. For not fighting harder." "I'm sorry," she said again. "I thought I was being noble, but I was just scared." He reached across the table, his fingers brushing hers. "We were young. We didn't know how to hold on." Later, after dessert and 2 more glasses of wine, they walked outside together. The night was cool, the city quiet. "Do you remember that night at the lake?" Gavin asked. "The one where we stayed up talking until sunrise?" Amelia smiled. "You told me you wanted to write a novel someday. About a man who loses everything and finds it again in a diner." He laughed. "I still think about that story." "You should write it," she said. "I might," he said. "But I think I'd rather live a better one." They stopped at the corner where their paths would split. "I don't know what this means," Amelia said. "But tonight." Gavin looked at her. "It means we have a choice. We can walk away again, or we can see what happens when we don't." She hesitated. "I'm scared." "So am I," he said. "But I'd rather be scared with you than safe without you." She smiled, tears in her eyes. Okay. He took her hand. And this time, neither of them was halfway out the door. In the weeks that followed, Amelia and Gavin found themselves slipping back into a rhythm that felt both familiar and brand new. They took long evening walks, rediscovered old jokes, and learned how to talk about the things they once avoided. The fear that had kept them apart slowly dissolved into something softer: trust, hope, and the quiet joy of choosing each other every day. And as the city moved around them, they realized they weren't just falling in love again. They were building something stronger, something rooted, something that finally felt like home. Subscribe to the channel for more audio stories.